Hey everybody, good morning. If it's morning wherever you are. Having a little bit of my community coffee with chicory. What's up, Eisenheim? How are you? This is not the 1800 FRL that you're looking for, although you should be. This is a great keyboard. I have all of my FRL 1800s. 4:05 p.m. See, it's a perfect time for me to stream. That's like prime time. That was my plan, so that you all could get a better, yeah. Well, so there's this. All right, let's see. Let's lower that music a little. What's up? He might be gaming. Glad you could join me. I was just showing off some of my other FRL 1800s. This is the Petrichor. This is one of my favorite keyboards of all time. This is a beautiful keyboard, and the satiny finish, the rounded edges, the cherry lip, the whole design. Not to mention 2 USB ports. What's up? How are you? Is that just Rue? Rue MC? Rumk? And then I've been working on the sound a little bit more. This is the Petrichor. Rue, okay. By AKB. They have a new board out right now, but it's not FRL 1800 like this is, so therefore kind of lesser. But AKB makes beautiful keyboards, and I would recommend, if you have the money, picking one up. It is so nice. I mean, I've been kind of lucky with my FRL 1800s. I've managed to pick up some really good ones over time. So, and they all kind of are unique. So we have the Petrichor, and this is the Space 82, or Space 82% by Gray Studios. So notice yeah, I don't have a Clara. I want a Clara bad. That is one of my I missed it, didn't have enough money when I saw some, kind of bored, and it's one of those boards I will always kind of want. But yeah, it's a really nice board. I've typed on it for somebody else's at a meetup. This is yeah, these are the Ghost Judge Deep Sea keycaps, I think. The only issue, and it's not an issue on this particular board, is that if you have a 7U spacebar, it only comes in the accent color. So I just kind of go into that, which works with this keycap set, but like with Blue Samurai, which is a little different. It has gold colored accents, and I'm not about the gold, so yeah. There's really only 2 boards that if I had the money I would camp in, and it's the Clara. Well, 3, because there's I would pick up a class, really any class. I don't have a class and I want one. I have the Smurf coming for like a TKL that has a solenoid, but it's not in the same class. uh, and then let's see. This is the one that's closest to the ASCII-F that we'll be building today. This is the Flip 6P. Hey, Soam, you made it. Oh no, we're just looking at other FRL 1800s before I start. Because I have a collection. I love the FRL 1800 profile. I found that I don't need the function row, but I do like having a numpad because I type in a lot of ticket numbers. So hence the reason for loving the FRL 1800 profile. But like I was saying, this is kind of the closest to the ASCII-F because it is essentially 2 segments, where you have your numpad segment and then you have your board segment. In this particular case, it's a 60% with a numpad, whereas the ASCII-F is actually a 65% with a numpad, and that is kind of perfect. It's going to be a little bit smaller than these two because it doesn't have as broken out like with the arrow keys or the extra keys. Hey, what's going on, Fetty? How are you? But of course, the Flip 6P, its shtick is that you can actually move the numpad to the other side. The entire thing will flip. You can even, there's a second daughter board or secondary PCB. So this is a one PCB, and then this is the other PCB. You can actually, there's a second PCB where it flips the plus and enter so that you can actually move it to this side and still have the plus and enter on the outside. Yes, it is the Daring Run Flip 6P, correct. It is also the creamiest of my FRL 1800s. As opposed to, I think, it's hard to say whether or not this is the clackiest of my FRL 1800s. This is kind of middle of the road. Which is another reason, I mean, aside from the beautiful finish, the extra ports, you know, I just love typing on this keyboard. Actually, I really love typing on all my keyboards. It's kind of funny. I rotate through keyboards when I'm at work. I bring like 3 keyboards to work. And over the course of the day, if something is going not well, I'll change keyboards. Oof. Come here, you. So this is very similar to the Petrichor. And I love the RT75. Oh wait, no. I don't have the RT75. I only have the RT85, which has the most beautiful screen of any keyboard I've ever used. It's very interesting. Or not keyboard, screen. It has the most beautiful screen of any keyboard ever at any price point. I have a lot of keyboards with screens. It is the best screen. Coffee to go with the keyboards. Yeah, the RT75 looks good. I actually have the HE75V2 TMR keyboard, which should be here shortly, but I don't know when I'll actually be able to stream it. Next week is going to be all Nix keys streaming, so I have a replacement PCB because some of the keys on it are dead. On my Athena are dead. But then I also have the Hermes numpad that I'll be building on next week's stream. And so I'm looking forward to that because I love Nix Keys stuff and can't wait. Because I definitely see the Athena, while it's a 65, no numpad, will be one of my daily drivers. Because it's such a beautiful keyboard, and I have a customized Adept plate, brass weight for the bottom. It's great. Anyway, so this is the TET. KBD fans, TET, and its big claim to fame is it's super heavy because it has this solid steel laser PVD, but it also, these little, when it came out, these little triangles, you could pick different kits and just get like blue or black or, you know, and mix and match, and these are all individually replaceable, so you could customize it further in that way. Now I bought this towards the end. Hey, what's up, Spooky? Yes, the TET. I love the TET. And I think that it has possibly one of my most favorite keycap sets on it, which is Retro Mixed Lights Dark by Kikobo. And but I mean, look at that. It's got some flex to it. It is my most, it is my clackiest keyboard, but I still think it's the best. Or one of the best. Well, they're all the best. Again, I love all my keyboards. It's crazy. Right? I need to take better pictures of all my stuff, and because I want to start uploading them to Shark's keyboard info website, which I have an account on. Now, the last one I have before we start is the funnest, and that is this. This is the Kit Atom. It is a, actually this is kind of the closest to the ASCII-F, to be honest, because this is actually a 65% ish. It's really, this is this a 64% with a numpad. So for those of you, and in 2 weeks, the stream, I will have the, well, maybe 3. If I decide to do the TMR roundup first, which might be a thing, I will stream then I have the Zoom 64, which is on its way. So I'll probably actually do the EPO Maker first, and then the Zoom 64. But that's coming. But I need to retune these stabs. That's not great. Yeah, I'll retune these stabs, but yeah. So you get this in 2 pieces. It's made of Lego, well, Schmegos, and so that's fun. You build your own. You literally build your own keyboard, right? Yeah, and I want more FRL 1800s. I'm glad that the ASCII-F has finally shown up, and I am looking forward to building that. Let's get some of these out of the way. And then we'll take a look at what's in the box for our ASCII-F, or rather, in the case. It comes in its own case, which we'll show you. You've probably already seen it. You'll know which board it is when you see it. I mean, come on. You could have written this bigger. It could have filled up more of this. So yeah, this is the ASCII-F. Comes in a case. Yeah, right? So this is a first for me, and I didn't know that this was a thing until last night when Patty was building hers, and she was using this because she has a soldered PCB. But it came with breakaway, and like, since I don't really buy solder PCBs, I've never encountered this before. I thought it was a plate. I'm like, wow, this plate is really weird. It's just kind of bars, and I'm like, but I guess. And then on her stream last night, she's like, yeah, I'm using the breakaway. I'm like, what's a breakaway? Because I thought I had an FR4 plate, which I don't. Then we have the PCB and stuff. Wow. Now that's a bag. I might have to keep this one and keep it away from Kaylee. My cat likes to perforate plastic bags. Come on. Okay. Here's our PCB. It is a hot swap, so it is pretty much a fixed layout. We can split the backspace, we can split, or we can step the caps, and that's pretty much it. That's kind of expected. This is already split. It's just split. And then it is a 7U with your standard 7U on the left side, but 2 1U keys on the right side. And we're going to leave that out and just kind of set it to the side. Get this bag to cooperate. Maybe I'll put it back in the bag. We're going to put it back in the bag. Nope. Too unwieldy. There we go. Got it. Got it. The plate we have is the PC plate. So you can see that it's designed to work with the both the solder and the hot swap, obviously. So you have this kind of open area, which is kind of what made me think that the other one was just kind of a weird plate. This is the 65% portion of the, so you have a row of keys here, you have your arrow cluster here, you have your shift. We will step the caps. Then on the solder PCB you could split the left, and you can also, it also has ISO support. Like I said, since this is the hot swap PCB, they don't give you choices, which is fine. It's fine. And then another huge bag for this. This is the tin key plate or a glove. Let's see, you have your tin key. And I imagine that at least part of the reason why it's separate is going to be sound related. Daughter board, which we'll install later. These are force brake pads, which we will be installing. And then the feet. Screw pack. And finally, I'm not going to say it's the star of the show, but also the case is much bigger than it really needs to be, which is also fine. I just noted that. This is the E-Coat beige colorway with the black aluminum bottom. I know, Kaylee. I know a lot of people have gotten the copper bottoms, but I kind of liked the black because it was kind of more retro. You've got the peekaboo, so you actually see part of the bottom case through these slits in the side. This E-Coat is so smooth. This also does have a cherry lip to it, so you can see that here. And then, of course, Frank's handle right here, Inomishiki, and ASCII-F. And then, again, ASCII-F on the bottom. So this is a homage to a retro keyboard, and I love it. I was able to actually see one of the prototypes at a keyboard meetup, which is what sold me on this keyboard, along with the fact that I just love the FRL 1800 layout. And even though it took forever to get here, I'm glad it's here, and we're gonna build it. So we'll set that up there. As a last minute change, we are going to use some Type Plus stabs. I say last minute change as I was going to use Wuche Studio Stupid Stabs, but then I'm like, no, I think I wanted to go Type Plus. So I actually had these delivered overnight from Amazon. So they got here at 4 a.m. this morning. For those of you not familiar with the Type Plus stabs, they don't really have the inserts like the Stupid Stabs, but what they do have is unique. And that is every one is hooked like this. And so you see how they have, well, actually you don't because it's black on black. So you have a set on this side and a set on this side. And essentially, you have to set it up that way because they hook in. So the left ones and the right ones are specific to that side. So all of these have the hooks for the left side. All these have the hooks for the right side. It is 1.6, but does come with converters for 1.2. So you have the standard. It also comes with plate stickers, and then there are screw end stabs for the PCB. So you've got your screws here. And here's our 7U spacebar that we're going to use. So we're going to do some, I'm just going to take these out. We will use, I think, all but one of these. Let's see, left shift, backspace, enter. Yeah, we're going to use all of these but one. And the 6.25U spacebar. So I'm going to put a little dielectric grease on the wires. When I do it, something that I picked up from Apiary is do this part, but not the hook, because it actually sets into the hook on the it actually sets on the hook inside of the housing, and so you don't really need it, and it could actually cause it to pop out more, which we do not want. These don't require a lot, so I'm just putting a thin layer. A little happy lube. Like happy little trees, only with lube. In this case, the lube doesn't actually, and I did not think this through. I normally do one side and then the other. Type Plus, though, they always get me. They always get me. Okay. So once you get this in here, you can put that through. And then you've got to get it into the, did I put it on the wrong side? Did I grab the wrong one? I grabbed the, yeah, I grabbed the wrong one. Remember what I said, that they're specific to the side? I, of course, initially grabbed the wrong one. So we'll grab the right one. Don't do that. Alright, so now it hooks in here. Or they're both the wrong one. They are both the wrong one. Did I just grab all the wrong side? That can't be right. No, this is the right side. Okay. 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 already okay. All right, so now here we go. Hooks in, does that, punches in, and you've got a stab. You can see how it hooks in right like that. Now we'll do the other side, and this should be the right side now, or the correct side. You have to make sure that your hooky part is there. Looks like that. Nope, these are all wrong. I don't understand. Are you right? You are right. Weird. And then in, and hook, and punch, click, and we are good. We have the wrong side. Okay. Apparently this is just me hating on this because I grabbed two of the same side. I don't know how. They should be on... Oh no, I see that they are not. It did not come out. Duh. So we're going to set that there. Grab you. And that's why this is not right. So this now goes in here. And I am so dumb today. Maybe I need more coffee. If I can do this correctly, I'll have some. Alright. And in. So if you're not dumb, you'll have you'll have a whole stabilizer, like so, and then you can take a drink of your coffee. Mine is Community Coffee with Chicory, the New Orleans blend. It is from where I grew up. It is the coffee my parents used to drink growing up, and I used to steal from them. I would offer to go grab and make coffee for my mom, so that on the way back to bring her coffee, I didn't want it to spill. I had to sip on it. You know, like you do. Okay, this time let's do this correctly. We're going to have one. We're going to hook it in. And then punch and click, and we're good. Now we're going to do our other side. We're just going to put just a light coat on it. We don't want too much, although it is forgiving. All right. So now we have this one. Oh wait, no, we need, yes, this one, that should be right. That should be the right hook part. And punch, and two. How are y'all doing this morning? Sorry. Let me get that on camera here. So I kind of dip the stab into the dielectric grease before, and then just take off the extra. Leave a little bit of the extra on the brush for the next side. And through, hook, and punch. Now we take our extra that we had left over from that, put it on, run it over. You can use whatever brush you want. I use professional miniature painter brushes. Because it's what I've got, because I am a miniature painter. If you did not see, I've got several of my guys up here, gals, mostly actually. I mostly had to stop miniature painting because it actually hurt my back so much because I would hunch. Which is interesting because, again, Patty built her ASCII-F on her stream last night, and she was talking about her pottery and about how, there we go, 3, about how she does the same thing with her pottery and it hurts her back. And I was like, oh, if she can do it, maybe I should be getting more into my miniature painting again. I have so many miniatures that are unpainted, which of course is the hallmark of a great miniature painter, is having an entire world of unpainted miniatures. And then the other side, just get that out. Okay, so we have our one side here. Make sure your hook goes, the slotted side goes in the correct side, which even if you're doing regular stabilizers, there's usually a side. Ooh, I've had the opportunity to use 4-wraps. I am a miniature painter, miniature figure, miniature figure collector / painter. Then I also collect board games and role-playing games. We were at Denver Fan Expo last weekend, where I was able to pick up the Dungeon Crawl Classics rulebook, along with the Mutant Crawl Classics rulebook, along with the an adventure for Dungeon Crawl Classics for $35 from Goodman Games directly. They had a booth, and I was like, ooh, that's cool. I've been playing role-playing games and painting miniatures for decades because I'm old. 2 more, everybody. Stay with me here. Yeah, did you want to see one of my miniatures that I painted? I'll go grab one. It's right behind me. I've got several that I love. One that I've just had on the shelf behind me that actually isn't even done. Okay. All right, let me finish the stabilizer. And before I do the last one, I'll grab one to show off. He Might Be Gaming has seen these in person. Well, at least some of them. Okay, there we go. And hook. And this one needs a little extra. Okay. Let's see. What do we have? So this is one that I painted. And then I have a little yeah, I'm not great, I'm not bad, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, or at least I was. I'm out of practice, but no wonder I can't see anything. I have my glasses on. Okay. And then we'll put you back in here. Make sure we're hooked. And we should be. Put extra on here, which I might actually have extra this time, so I might actually end up having too much. And you can have extra to a point. It won't bother anything. But there is a point at which if you have too much lube on your stabilizer wire, your stabilizers will go all mushy. And you do not want that, because if you want mushy, get silent switches. Okay. We should have enough stabilizers. Let's do the count again. We got our space bar, and both our hooks are in. We've got our left shift, and both our hooks are in. We've got our backspace, both our hooks are in. Our inner key, both our hooks are in. Oh wait, there is one more. I do need all of them. I forgot one, and that is our 0. I need the 0 key. Again, I think I got too much. Take some off. We'll probably make a return in a little bit. And interesting that they give you... So this kind of has one short of a full set, because there's no wire for the... there's no wire for the right shift. Which works out in my favor, but is not technically a full set. Remove our wire with the extra. I actually don't think I need any extra. I think I got pretty much exactly what I want. Now you can go away. Okay. Come on. Ah, don't come out. Okay. There we go. And in and hook and punch, click. And then this one is going to be our 0, our plus, hooked, and our inner hooked. Okay, so we're good. All right, now the return of the PCB. And start with our spacebar. I don't know why I always start with my spacebar. The hook goes on the big end. Why aren't you hooking? There we go. Okay. I tend not to use the plate pads unless I absolutely have to, so I'm not. Come on. And on these, they'll either open. If they don't, just slide them side to side, and then they'll usually open. These have little clear gaskets. Clear gaskets do not want to come out of the bag. Should have enough, hopefully. Hopefully. These are Phillips head. So you'll need your little Phillips head screwdriver, which you are not. Take a drink of coffee. I think I've deserved it. My Phillips head was attached to magnets. So, Phillips head screwdriver. Should be able to grab it with your magnetized. We're going to put a little clear plastic gasket on it. Come on, come on. And then and this is something that I didn't notice until I think somebody brought it to my attention, that a sign of a really good designer, and I'll show it to you in just 1 second, or I'll bring your attention to it to just 1 second, because you can see it, and that is You're in. And you're in. This thing comes with spare diodes for the PCB. So if anything happens and you happen to lose a diode, you can actually just desolder it from the back of the board and put that one in place, in its place, which is awesome. Yes, this is a completely DIY keyboard. And it's great. You pick all of your parts. They are more expensive usually. But, you know, you're paying for the quality of the workmanship on it, the design. You're also paying for the small batch because if you're getting a keyboard that's like this, you know, as opposed to somebody like Epo Maker who has their own factories and churn out, you know, thousands of the same keyboard and reuse some of the designs, reuse some of the same parts. All of these are designed in-house. In this particular case, this keyboard is designed by a keyboardist named Mushiki, which is his name right here. And so he had a design. He found a vendor, in this case Zenclack, to be the primary vendor for the keyboard that he wanted to make. And he found some other vendors in other countries. Come on, go. There we go. I don't know where that one went, but make sure it goes in. Oh, it's way over there. Look at that. It rolled like a wagon wheel. Like it hankers for a hunk of cheese. Oh, I gotta actually put the next stab on it. No, you go here to our backspace next. I hate splitting the backspace. And that is the adept flaw, and that is because the backspace, even when I split the backspace, I still go for either side for when I'm actually using backspace. So I end up having to set both keys to backspace. And I tried what some people do, which is to move the backspace down to backslash. And I can't do that because I can't get used to going down there for the backspace either. So yeah, on these custom keyboards, especially if you go solder, because the solder PCBs, because a lot of keyboard designers like their like to make you solder, So in order to get all of the full customization, because like I said, you know, there's no ISO on this board on the hot swap, but there is on the solder board. So if you over here, so yeah, if you go with the solder PCB, then you get options like ISO, you get more options on your spacebar. Just they favor soldering, and it's because that's what they like, and it also is practical because if you are designing a PCB, which he did, he designed this, so like it came from his brain, and then he did this entire layout in like KiCad or something. Taking a drink of my coffee. But if you're designing a PCB and you're doing hot swap, you have to allow for the actual hot swap sockets. Whereas if you're soldering, or if you have a solder PCB, you don't have to worry about adding the pad space and stuff. So okay, that is the main part of our PCB. Now we have the numpad. So now that y'all have seen this color, the finish, I've got a few options for keycaps. Some you might be familiar with, some you might not. So the ones that I have available up here, and I brought a variety. So I brought Solarized Dark, which is drop DCX. I brought Drop DCD Rohan, which I think the beige of the Rohan keycaps would go very well. With the color of the case. But then I have Ghost Judge Space, which is an interesting. I'm going to need more of you to come out. There's one. There we go. As long as I don't lose any. Why do I have one already attached to my thumb? Under my thumb. Okay. Then I have GMK Norse, which I have the brass accent for. Then I have Dual Shot, GMK Dual Shot, with the additional color accents, and that one is a gray set. I'm not sure how that gray would work. but I thought it might be interesting, especially since it's, you know, kind of retro styling. So, and then Fuji, GMK Fuji. So we have 6 different keycap sets that we can choose from. And I was thinking for the first build, which I'm going to do a plateless hot swap. I was originally, since I thought that that was a FR4 plate, I was originally going to do the FR4 first. And obviously, since it's not an FR4 plate, I can't do that. So, I'm like, I'll just do the plateless. And then we're going to try the PC plate. So we'll do 2 builds. Hey, they give you just enough screws for all the stabilizers that come in it. No extras. You want extras? You're gonna have to wait. Get it? Because extras, like on group buys. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll put these away. So my initial thought was GMK Norse. And my initial switch thought, because we have a lot of switches that we could choose from. Since I'm kind of going, like seriously, off book, doing ACCO HMX Collab Cilantro switches as the switch. So let me know what y'all think. What keycap set, and if you need to see one of the keycap sets, you could schmoogle it, or just ask me. They're all right here. I can grab them for you. So far, the hot swap sockets are gripping pretty tight, so I'm pretty happy about that. You should not normally do a hot swap plateless because obviously without the positioning plate your switches can not go in all the way, they could not stay in. But since this is a fun build, copy tab. Okay, we've officially drifted. It is that point in the stream to where it's not really coffee and keyboard so much as keyboards, because I have officially drank all my coffee. I generally only have 1 cup of coffee a day, but I make it a 32-ounce cup of coffee. So I learned recently that, well, I've always known that coffee doesn't really affect me, but I recently learned that that is one of those things that would be associated with someone who has ADHD. So that's funny. I was thinking about getting evaluated for ADHD slash where on the autism spectrum I actually lie, because I found out that outpatient mental health visits are completely covered by my current insurance provider. And while they don't cover things like CT scans, they do cover that. So I don't know if you're still around. He might be gaming, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. So you should always put your switches in on a flat surface so that you're less likely, so that the switches themselves have some backing to them, so you don't pop a socket. Popping sockets are bad, because if you pop a socket and it takes the pad with you, or with it, then you are going to be soldering wires or getting a new PCB. So keep that in mind. I know most of you probably already know this. I mean, this is not your first rodeos. This is, you know, but I always like mentioning it in case I end up with any new people, because one of the things I do is I love helping people. So if I could have just one new person on my stream watching, and I can help them with their next keyboard build, I am a happy little camper. Huh? It's a good thing I got extras, because that fell on the floor, so it's lost and gone forever. Oh, my darling, Clementine. So yesterday we tried to install our new fan in the bedroom. It was a disaster. Like, a disaster. We ended up... the base that attaches to the roof ended up being bigger on the new one. So the screw holes, even though there's like a... Oh, there's probably more than 200 cilantros in there. I am not normally a tactile person, and that has been mainly because my exposure to tactiles has been the brown switches, and I learned that I do not like brown switches. Also, on a future stream, I will be making my own holy pandas. Like, not like original holy pandas. I have somebody who, in the local community, who is going to be bringing me the true halos and the hey, you can love your MX Browns all you want, and that's okay. They are just not for me, man. For some reason, mid bump tactiles the like the MX Browns, when I hit the bump and when it goes over the bump, it feels wobbly to me. And then I got these. Because the cilantro switches have what's called a D-bump. So it's like a strong bump at the very beginning. And then it's like bump and then planes off and then comes down. So like if you think about it from the side, it's like the letter D. So cilantros, firecrackers, oh yeah, I also hate scratch in keys. Hate it. I took Nixies and I lubed them, and then I put stems in them to make them smoother. Like I took everything about a Nixie that made a Nixie and just took it away. I'm like, yoink. But I put strong springs in them, like 62 gram springs. Okay. Well, maybe there's 200 in here. Of course, I have those on other boards too. So my thought, and of course I put it on the bottom. Oh, come here. Which is funny because Bittersweet is one of my... Rosewood and Bittersweet are some of my least favorite of the new ASCII switches. So tell me what y'all think. Do we think this might work? Should we try something else? Because the set I was thinking about is... set this inside. The other set I was thinking about are these. And I think this is going to be a closer match to the colorway. But I kind of like the Norse for it. At least the start. The second one? So you like the space better than the Norse. Let's do the Norse on the first build, and then when I do the PC plate, because I'm gonna want a deeper sound, then we'll do the space, and every other keycap set can go ahead and get bent. So, interesting thing, and if anybody knows me and my usual designs on keyboards, and by designs, my plans, everybody knows I'm a foam enjoyer, except in this case. This keyboard has no foams. It is only top mount. So it's very interesting choice for me for a keyboard that I'm looking forward to. This will be even more interesting because we're going to be going plateless. So this is kind of my outside my comfort zone build. Are the bittersweets tactile? I don't remember them being tactile. I thought bittersweets were linear. Maybe their tactile is just so weak that I did not distinguish them as okay. Yeah, I thought I tried them, and I didn't remember them being very tactile-y, but... Huh. Huh. Who knew? Oh, you did. Ah, yeah. Which, again, I did not. Like the Rosewoods. If you like the... set you down. I think if you liked Mirandy, you'll like Rosewoods. For those of you who have not tried it or are considering trying it. I do. Well, I've seen them on different streams. Can't say that I know. Okay. Over here. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted there. You're gonna, yeah. Taking this apart for the next build is going to be interesting because I'm going to pull out these keycaps and all the switches are going to come with it. I'm not sad about this, it's just what's going to happen. And when we put this together, and we put this keycap set in here, I'm going to want everybody's opinion. On how you think the colors work overall, because if the plate and switches work well with GMK, Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, and one last key. One. You can be on there. Okay. Yep. We are. That beautiful brass Norse keycap. Okay. Time for you to come back up. And you to go back. Now we are going to, and to get into this keyboard, you have 8 screws in the bottom. I think that this is going to be too small, and it is, which means we're actually going to break out our iFixit toolkit. Not sponsored, but I would take that sweet, sweet iFixit toolkit money. It's gonna be you. And it is. Look at that. I love picking the right screw. Driver bit. It's like a game. I love games. Yeah, if anybody is buying switches, especially from Unikeys, consider using my affiliate link so that I'm not the only one. And let me tell you, I definitely use my affiliate link for Unikeys. I support that they're standard M3 screws. I am less supportive of the fact that it uses 2 different types of screws. All right, so we'll need to install our daughter board. It would be this. Looks like the screws should be in with the screw pack and not in with the daughter board itself. T connector. We'll go ahead and connect this end before I screw it down because it's a pain in the butt to connect to this once you've installed it. At least like that. I guess I should have watched something. Yeah. I am almost certain it goes like this. Yes, there are my 4 small screws. We'll need the rest of the screws anyway to install our top mount. So these are smaller hex screws. And this does work. Two. You want to go in the hole for me? Are you too good for your home? Oh, no. Are there two different size screws for the... Or did I... Or does it go... First of all, let's make sure that these... Okay, they are the right screws. Great. Next, let's just do this, because I think I just had it wrong. I just had it wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrongity wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrongity wrong. Is it wrong? Wrong, 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 wrongity wrong. Alright. Now we're cooking with Koopa. There we go. And this is going to set in here, hopefully. We're going to take our PCB and we're going to flip this upside down. Except for I'll need to have the screws not in here so that I can actually use them. So let's just move those down. There we go. Or let's move this up. Let's do both. How about that? Okay. And then these use also looks like M3s. Do our opposite sides to start, just like when we are putting on the bottom of the case. That helps align everything else. And then I do all my four corners, and then I do my inside. And then I do opposites corners as best I can. So just making X's, in this case smaller X's as time goes on. And one to grow on. And we're all in. extra. I love having one extra. Oops, don't do that. We're going to slide our JST connector in. Like so. And we should be able to drop that down. And then seat it properly, which it's not right now. Come on. There we go. Now it's seated properly. Okay. Get our screws back in. Opposite corners, like I said before. Question is, do I want to make these screws black? I might want to do that. Oh, that's the wrong one. So that is not the right screw. There we go. Okay. And theoretically, we now have a keyboard. What do we think? Haven't done the sound test yet. We'll do the sound test in just 1 second. But first impressions. Look, I think this goes so well with this and just makes the overall board more cohesive. So let's go ahead and we're going to pause the music, which you don't even see that it's kind of running right now. So we'll turn it up and then mute it. Okay. So this is the ASCII-F plateless with ASCII HMX collab cilantro switches and GMK Norse. Oh, nope. We cannot do a proper sound test without feet. And I also did not put on the, which we'll do for the next one, or this one if we need to redo it, but I also did not put in the force brakes. So let's put some feet on this thing. Can't have a proper sound test without feet. Because it's just going to have feet on it the whole time anyway, so. Alright. Alright. Now we're going to do a sound test. Again, plateless, cilantros, ASCII HMX collab, GMK Norse, top mount. This does not, only does top mount, no foams. And here we go. Yeah, I don't know that that force brake pads are needed on this. What do y'all think? I mean, I'm not hearing any resonance on it. Well, no. I lied. Nope, it's there. It's just not very pronounced. We'll install them when we take this off to install the plate, but oh, I didn't know that somebody else had already used Norse, so. Oh, you have resonance there. You'll know that you hit an escape key. Only on the outside edge, I am hearing a little bit of resonance, especially on the backspace. It's actually a weird resonance too, because it sounds like a low tone, like boop 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 boop. I don't think that's gonna come through on this on the microphone, but it's weird. Okay. I mean, I like it. I think it came out nice. As a quick test, and this is gonna be, I'm just curious, we're gonna do this. Here it comes. Hey, look, one of the switches stayed. Weird. All right. This is a gift from Unikeys. I love this thing. And then this is the Gateron. I had it for like a month before one of these broke off. So if you are considering getting it, keep that in mind. I don't think I'm going to use them on the final build. I think I'm going to use Chew on my final build, but I wanted to try a linear on the plateless. So I'm going to use the Swift. These are the HMX Swift V1s. So I'm just going to put these in. Just because I want to see how it sounds. I mean, this is not a bad sound. It's a sound I can kind of get behind. But, alright. I just wanted to try that before I pulled it apart. Where's my cilantro container? Where is... Let's get these back. Why, though? I respect your opinion, so I'm genuinely curious. Not that there's anybody like most of the keyboard people, I respect their opinions when they tell me. Like we may not agree on what between our preferences, but I always respect. And it's kind of one of those things with yeah, that's right. It's kind of one of those things with the keyboard hobby in general, is that oh, well, I'm gonna have to take it apart anyway. Let's put in my other switches. But if you go to meetups, and especially if you are yeah, that's kind of what I liked about the Swifts, is that it was a very clean, very bright sound. But like I was saying, at like meetups, if you are like me, where you tend towards using foams and you prefer a deeper sound, you really kind of have to take everybody else's, because tons of enthusiasts have moved on from foams and deep sounds to, like, you know, more of a clacky signature. And so you have to listen not for your signature, but how their implementation is, and then you can extrapolate how your signature might sound with it. And that is the key to really appreciating everyone else's keyboards, because everyone is right when it comes to keyboard preferences. There is no wrong way to build a keyboard. Well, I'm sorry. Except for not lubing your stabs. That's wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrongity wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrongity wrong. So. Boys and girls, always lube your stabs. Well, I mean, you know, I if I didn't say a lot of people, that's what I should have said, because like Mango, she also enjoys she and I have very similar sound opinions. So, which is always nice. I should have just left it in there. Yeah, I just heard that Dirty Pink. I like HMX a lot, because not so much the switches actually that are similar to the Swifts. Oh, wrong one. Because the Swift switches tend a little higher, along with the mirror switches. I like the mirror switches, but they do tend to be a little bit higher pitched. But if you start going into like and if anybody knows me, they know my favorite switch is the Lunar Stone. Lunar Stones are a little bit deeper sound signature, but at the same time, you have that clean, crisp bottom out, and that is the sweet spot for me. You go right here, you go right there. Now there are some other switches. The Smurf is coming. I mentioned that earlier, and we're going to do and I don't know if this is still on the books, but we were planning on doing a group stream where we all build our Smurfs, me and Mikey and who else? Maybe Mango. Where we all build our Smurfs on stream and then compare. And I am looking forward to that. But I have Kale Autumns that are waiting. Oh gosh, waiting for that. So yeah, so I'm gonna build it. I'm gonna build the Smurf with Kale Autumns, with the Selenoid, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be so fun. Yeah, I mean, I liked that it was a sub $100 board, and then I could pick it up. Because I've wanted a Selenoid board again. I would love to get a class, so I could have the Selenoid and the buzzer and just everything. So, and they're beautiful and they actually sound really good too. If you have not tried I do highly recommend, if you have the money, to pick up one of the class boards, because they're just nice. The Smurf looks nice. I liked the Unicomp boards. I'm not familiar with the Unicomp board, although I think I've heard somebody talk about them in the past. Bye-bye, brass. Come on. Oh yeah, the modern. Yes. I'm interested. um. Yeah, that. And then the same people who made the Smurv made the what is it called? The model OLED. That's what it was called. Which would be a keyboard I would love to have. The problem is I'm interested in those more for the novelty. It's not like a keyboard I would use as a daily driver. And you go in there, and you go off to the side. And we are on track. On track for victory. Yeah, I think it was the company Play Keyboard's first offering. And it was sort of a small run, but it's basically a modern version of the Model M keyboard that has a little OLED screen in the upper corner, upper side. I think it also had a solenoid. All right, we're going to install the force brake pads just because that's how I roll. We're going to install the plate, and we're going to install our plates, because there's technically two, one for the main and one for the numpad. But yeah, the model OLED, I thought it looked really neat when they were originally offering it. And then they had started a release for the 65% curved keyboard. And I forget what its name was, but they actually completed it, and then they changed their mind because, and they refunded everybody's money because they could not. Oh, hey, don't break your JST connector. There, the adapt like an idiot. It wasn't, because the original design for the 65% with the curved, because that's the other thing about the Smurf is the curved deck. But they weren't using, like the Smurf does, a ribbon cable, and they were actually bending the PCB using the plate as a guide for the bend. And apparently it wasn't working. I'm guessing more than likely they were having, in some cases, to keep the PCB snap. Not that I know this for certain, but it seems the most logical reason why they would have backed out. Or it was just a production cost, because that was actually an aluminum keyboard, chassis keyboard. Whereas the Smurf is a plastic. I think it's ABS plastic. which of course how they were able to get the cost down. But yes, the model OLED. If you haven't seen it, it's fun. And that'll be whenever we can get them in and coordinate. It does. On something like the, like in this case, it essentially acts as sort of a, I guess we'll do this numpad first. It stops the full case, because if the longer you have the PCB, the more likely you are going to, and these are HMX Chew switches, which will be the ones we'll be using at least initially for this build. So, all right. We don't want to do that one first. We want to do this one first. It helps with sound. In this particular case, they're still joined. In the case of something like the flip obviously has it separated so that you can move it from side to side. But a lot of full-sized boards are starting to offer these breaks between the two, and it has to do with sound. And I find it does make a difference. It certainly made a difference in this case, whereas where the number pad was much more even sound when we did that, if you noticed. I a lot. It was always my problem when I was a radio DJ. A pirate radio DJ. Statute of limitations is expired on that, so don't reach out to the popo. Yes, that's exactly what it does. You are 100% correct. It makes the board effectively smaller and therefore allows better sound. Good morning, Freya.
Morning.
I'm much more of a morning person than Freya is. It's one of my more endearing qualities.
If that's what you want to believe.
I don't know, I'm doing something right. She's kept me around for 19 years. And you know, if somebody wants to be your girlfriend for 19 years, because, you know, if they were your girlfriend, they could just leave you at any time. Like right now. Or right now. How about now? Actually, let's do...
Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Go in... Let's double check that again. Put that there. Okay. Nope, I went too far. That's why. Okay. Now we should get a better. Always check your pins. There we go. I could use a plate fork, but I don't. I even have one around here somewhere. Usually it's not a big deal because most of the time I have foam, which effectively acts as the plate fork. And would stop me from using a plate fork. Alright. Really, once you get it rolling, you don't have to worry about it as much. Once you build your frame, it's mainly along the top and bottom that you need to be. Because once you have a bunch of switches in, the rest of the switches just kind of want to be there. Since there's nothing along the top to keep the switches going in, they kind of can be a little futzy, which is why you do your frame first. You find it satisfying. Yeah, I mean, I've always found it a little annoying. And that is the adept thing, and that is because I can never get it to go where I want it to be. And so I'm like, this is just as easy. And maybe I'm just fooling myself. Like that Stick song. Fooling yourself. Any Styx fans? If not, you're wrong. Styx is awesome. And if you're unfamiliar with the band Styx, you should go listen to Mr. Roboto. And keep in mind that it was the 80s. It was a simpler time. Where everybody could be more offensive. Thanks, Notice. Good morning. Well, when it comes to 80s music, I know a lot. '80s music, '90s techno, Celtic music. Because I don't know if you can tell from my arms, but I'm a ginger. Can't really tell from my head anymore. Oh, or Mardi Gras music. I know all kinds of Mardi Gras music. And that's because they all ask for you. one to grow on. We've got this going. Let's go ahead and get some keycaps. As I said, we're going to go with the KP Republic Ghost Judge Space. Now, KP Republic sent me these a while ago to use on my stream. And it's funny because while I can still find most of the Ghost Judges on their website, not Space. Space is gone. I don't know. I don't know what they did, why they did it. But I can no longer find Space on their website, which is a shame because this is a really good keycap set. I have a few sets now that are like that. I had gotten a beige retro Adobe set from Keyed Monkey on clearance. And whenever I put that onto a board, and it's on a board right now, I don't remember which one though, it's people always comment because it has the old this is a KP Republic set. They are a friend of the channel. They have sent me keyboards in the past. They haven't sent me anything recently. I mean, they might be done with me. I tried to reach out to them recently, and they're basically ghosting me at this point, so oh well for that. But the Ghost Judge keycap sets are double shot PVT, and generally about $40. They're essentially just clones of other sets without novelties, which is important to me. Because while I don't think that colorways are a thing that I worry about, novelties are a different thing. Yes, that is exactly why you... Oh, I did go ahead and put on that enter key, didn't I? That's why I left the escape off, because I absolutely plan on putting that red inner and inners and escape. And I'm thinking, well, and it has to be the space bar. Because the one flaw with the Ghost Judge set is that the 7U spacebar only comes in the accent color. Okay, so we're going to take off the enter key. Put it back in there. Where did I put, oh, it's underneath. Grab our second layer. Oh, it's not Fooling Yourself. It's Angry Young Man is the name of the song that I was talking about earlier. Just reminded me. And by... Oh. That. I don't know why. I just wanted to... That. Page down. Arrow keys. Numpad. I don't know, but some gray mods and scheme it up with 2 red, always slap on white because, yeah, no, I agree. It is, you know, I always stream also over to YouTube, but I have such a hard time remembering to go look at the chat. Nobody's chatted today on it, but it's one of those things. So if you're ever on the YouTube chat for this, I'm sorry. And I try to look at it, and it might take me an hour. Numpad. Got our control. Let's go there, and our alt. It's going to be here. Shift. Alt. Control. Step caps. That is all for this level. Oh, except I did it. I did it again. I did it again. Since this is open at the top and the bottom for the stabs, it doesn't lock into place. All right. Oh, yeah. Good night. Have a great night. Sorry, I missed that. Hey, sometimes I miss the regular chat, apparently. Alright, now we have our layer 3, which is going to be this. Actual Windows key. Escape. Enter. One thing I do not do, because I have the red arrows here, but I don't put the arrows because then it would just make like a 1, and I don't want that. And then red spacebar. I'll just leave you off to the side. Now we'll and switch. Apparently, there is a right way to do this, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put them in. Close enough. Ah. Force breaking. Star trekking across the universe. On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. Star trekking across the universe. Always going forward. Still can't find reverse. If you've never heard that song and you like Star Trek, it's hilarious. It's a parody song from like the 70s. It was on Dr. Demento back in the day when that was a thing. Okay, so now we have our force brakes in place. Move you back, bring you forward, and orient you correctly. Drop you in, lift you up, grab your screw. Screwdriver. Make sure that you don't scratch your finish. Did I mention the finish on this thing is wonderful? It's so smooth. It's an E-coat. I'm glad I went with the E-coat and not the ano. Alright. We're going to do this the better way. The smarter way, because sometimes I'm smart. And sometimes you feel like a nut. And sometimes you don't. Come for the keyboards, stay for the obscure pop culture references. Alright, a Mounds commercial is not obscure, but we'll go with it. Star Trek it was, though. Okay, and one to grow on. Get our top mount finished. All done. You come back forward. No, get a little white thing. Okay. Install our JST connector. It's kind of long for the trough that it has, but, you know. There we go. All right, and you're in. Let's get you screwed down. And if you're using force brake, you want to get it going. Is this grabbing? Yeah, there we go. And if you're using force brakes, you don't want to screw it too tight. You want to get it just to where it feels snug, but not. You don't want to compress your force brake because then it just kind of doesn't do any good. Gosh darn good. So you just kind of feel it. Or like most people did, don't use force brake. or doesn't necessarily need it. All right. Here we go. All right. What do we think of the colorway? And what do we think of the colorway compared to the Norse? Which is actually maybe even a better question. It's more uniform overall. Like this, and everything just kind of matches. We've got the accents, which are nice. Sub-legends, if you're into that. And then let's do a sound test. So once again, I forgot to start the music back up, so I've just been kind of chatting here, so we don't need to worry about that. All right, so this is the ASCII-F. PC plate, obviously no phones, doesn't come with them. Top mount, because that's the only mounting style it has. Ghost Judge double shot PBT keycaps with HMX Chew switches. Okay, I think with a plate, it actually sounds more resonant, and with a force break. So I'm glad I put the force breaks in. Could be the switches. That sound in the backspace is gone though, so that's good. How do I feel about this overall? I mean, I'm not sad about it. And y'all just went to break. I don't know if anybody is on break or if you're still here. But let's try a couple of different. I'm kind of interested in Norse on this build. I kind of like the Ghost Judge over that. Let's try some different materials. Okay. Oh. Yeah, well, here, let me give you the baseline. I'm trying some different switch materials. Yeah, so overall, so what do you think? I was about to try some dye sub on here, and I kind of wanted to see how the color scheme went. I think this is a little bit too white for it, though. And this is Drop DCD Rohan. No? I think it's going to be too white, but as a comparison. Hey, Niku. Does it? They were good while they lasted. And then the last one I wanted to try. Let me put this back. Put them all back. Is another ABS set, and that is going to be another drop set. That's going to be the Solarized Dark. Now, when I had suggested Solarized Dark, the people said that they didn't think it was going to work. And I kind of think that it will, if I were to go in that direction. So I think that it's more of an earth tone. So if I were to want to go with something dark, see, I kind of like it. This surprisingly makes it a little bit deeper than the double shot PBT. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. All right. This is an experiment. I don't know if it's going to work. It hopefully will work. Mine has HMX Chew on it. That's what we're rocking right now. With the PC plate. Take you out, drop you down, put you there. Oh, you go on the next level. G and H. And everything's in there. This level is done. Next level. We're just going to pull these out individually. Oh no. Okay. So that's my control. That's my alts. Tilda. Oh wait, I could be playing music right now. You guys don't have to listen to me. I have lo-fi all queued up. Oh, there's no giveaway today. Unless y'all want, I can give away something. It would be a budget board. Like the Alice, Tide Alice. Something like that. Do you find that you shine your GMK keycaps very quickly? Because I do, by the way. If I use GMK keycaps, I'll have the beginnings of shine in under a week. I have very naturally oily skin. Okay, that is our second level done. I'm going to go on. And that's level 3 done. Alright, so now we can give our Solarized Dark a little shot. I think that this is actually going to look good. Anything I've opened, I've already started to shine, I think. Except for 8008-2, because I only just opened it. Because I got it for that crazy $30 sale that OmniType had. And I put it on... Where did I put it on? Oh, the JRIS 65, and then I haven't used the JRIS 65 since. Well, I did a little bit, but... Is gene speed something I've never heard of? I looked at that and initially I thought you said SA Godspeed, which I do know, but what do y'all think of the colors? Are they working? Ah. The legends are actually kind of beige-ish, which is why I thought that it would work. Because overall, the tone is somewhat of an earthy tone, with the blues being kind of a bluish green, legends being kind of beige. Now you have the bright blue, and then you have the red. Well, even the red is kind of a ruddy. And that is all of this level. And trade. And of course the orange is an earth tony. See, but I've seen people, you know, again, panels. Panels doesn't go with the beige at all. It's all just bright colors. So this, on the other hand, is kind of earth tony, which actually I see it and I think that it actually looks pretty good. But let's do a sound test. I don't know if it's going to stick around. I might go back to GMK Norse, which worked and also did not have keys that match up with the case, but I think it worked as well. I also like bringing the overall tone to a more darker cast because that's just how I roll. But this is drop DCX, solarized dark, HMX Chew switches, PC plate, obviously no foams, top mount on the ASCII-F. And let's do a sound test. Yeah, I mean, thoughts on the sound here? What do we think? Overall, what was your favorite? Or, hold on, just because I should have tried it sooner, but I didn't. Don't know that I'm going to do a whole nother build, but let's just see how they work. It makes the whole board more resonant. Interesting. Very interesting. And then finally, or not so finally, these are Kiki Klein Blues. This might soften the sound a little bit. It definitely did. I mean, I'm kind of digging it. Hold the phone. Come here, Klein Blue Spacebar. It does not work in the spacebar. I think it has too much wobble in the stem. Because if I can just get it to go down straight, it's pretty nice. But I've always had a problem with Key Geek and their wobble. They have a lot of play. So, anything else I wanted to try in here? No, I think I'm good. I think we'll go back to the choose for now. Anybody have any questions, any thoughts, comments? Otherwise, let's see who's streaming this morning. And I will turn you loose like a lover boy song. Let's see. Who's got something going on? Nobody. All right. So, thanks for joining me. Again, long time coming, but I'm very happy with it. Even, without foams or anything, I think it's very nice. It is pretty awesome. And, yeah, no, thank you for showing up and being pretty chatty. That is awesome for me when I do stream. Like I said, next week we will be doing a rebuild of the Nix Keys Athena 65, as well as building the Nix Keys Hermes numpad, which both are awesome. Well, I hope. I haven't built the Hermes yet, because that's what we're doing next week. But yeah, if you can join me, it'll be the same keyboards and coffee, 7 a.m. Mountain Time, and I will hopefully see you then. Again, thanks for